practice with the answers and understanding how to solve integers using all four operations. If you need some background knowledge on this, I encourage you to go watch our first video where it shows all the steps and rules and practice problems there as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the problems just on Monday. We have 5 plus a negative 8. Now your teacher may teach you different rules of keep a sign, change a sign. What I like to do when I have a positive and a negative sign together and it's set within parentheses is just to eliminate the first sign. So it's really saying 5 minus 8. We take the sign of the biggest number, which is going to be negative. The signs are different because this one's positive and this one's negative, so we're going to subtract. So the answer is a negative 3. The next one is a negative 12 minus a negative 3. And when I have two negative signs together that has a parentheses in between, just make this a really big plus sign. So I really have a negative 12 plus 3. Take the sign of the biggest number, which is negative. The signs are different, so we're going to subtract the two numbers. The answer is a negative 9. Two times negative 6. For our multiplication and division rules, you have a negative and a negative equals a positive. A negative and a positive equals a negative. And a positive and a positive equals a positive. Okay, so we have a positive number and a negative number that we're multiplying, so our answer is going to be negative. So 2 times 6 is 12. Negative 2 times negative 6 equals negative 12. You may also see multiplication written with a number right beside a parentheses. This also equals a negative 12, and it means to multiply. I encourage you as you're writing down these notes to also write down the words and the steps, including the arrows and understanding why you're choosing a negative or a positive for the answer and when to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Next one is a negative 33 divided by a negative 3. Again, the multiplication rules and division rules are the same. So a negative and negative equals a positive. A negative and positive equals a negative. And a positive and a positive equals positive. Okay, so we're doing division now. We have a negative number and a negative number. So our answer is going to be positive. 33 divided by 3 is going to be 11. Also, if the number is written this way, 2 negatives is a positive. 33 divided by 3 is 11. (11) minus a negative 2. We have two negative signs together. So I'm going to make this a really big positive sign. So we really have 11 plus 2 equals a 12. I'm sorry, equals 13. Negative 6 plus 7. Our integer rules for adding and subtracting integers is take the sign of the biggest number first. If the signs are the same, you add, and if the signs are different, you subtract. So take the sign of biggest number. That's going to be in your answer. If the signs are the same, you add the numbers. And if the signs are different, you subtract the numbers. Okay, so we have a negative 6 and a positive 7. The sign of the biggest number is positive. The signs are different, so we're going to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. The video is moving a little too fast for you. Just pause it and catch up and try to work some of these on your own. So 10 times a negative 10 is going to be a negative 100. These are the multiplication rules. (81) divided by a negative 9. The answer is going to be negative. 81 divided by 9 is 9. Also written 81 divided by negative 9, or the negative sign out in front, and 81 over 9. The answer to both of these is still going to be a negative 9. (14 minus 6) is using addition and subtraction integer rules. Take the sign of the biggest number, which is going to be positive, so my answer is going to be positive. The signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 14 minus 6 is 8. And you'll get to the point where you do not have to write this plus sign in front of it. Anytime you do not have a sign in front of a number, it is a plus sign. It is assumed to be positive. (5 plus a negative 7). We have two signs together, so I'm just going to eliminate this one because we're adding and subtracting. So it's really 5 minus 7. Take the sign of the biggest number, put that in my answer. The two signs are different, so we're going to do 7 minus 2. 7 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 7 times a negative 8. Multiplication rules is 2 negative equals a positive. 8 times 7 is 56. Can also be written negative 7 times negative 8, where the number is directly beside the parentheses. This is also 56, or it may be written with an asterisk. All these signs mean multiplication. (9 plus a negative 9). To eliminate the first sign, 9 minus 9 equals 0. Your teacher may also have shown you how to put it on a number line as well. (36 divided by a negative 4), also written 36 over 4. And there's actually more out in front. It'll give it the same answer as well. All of these with the multiplication and division rules, a positive and negative will always equal a negative. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Same answer for all of these. (0 minus 3). Just set in parentheses. Take the sign of the biggest number, which is negative. The signs are different because this is positive and this is negative. So we're going to subtract the two numbers. If you get in the habit of saying the integer rules, this will be very easy for you, especially if you already know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So this is adding and subtracting type integers. Take the sign of the biggest number, which is positive. The signs are different because this is plus and this is minus. So this is a plus 7. Negative 5 times negative 9. You have to be able to identify that this is multiplication. Why? Because there is a number right beside the parentheses. So you're really distributing this negative 5 times this negative 9, which is going to be a 45. If there is a sign between the parentheses and the number, this is actually adding and subtracting. Negative 7 minus a negative 2. I have two negative signs together separated with this parentheses. So I'm going to make it a bit plus sign. So we have negative 7 plus 2. Take the sign of the biggest number and put it in your answer, which is negative. The signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 2 and get a negative 5. Eleven times a negative 9, going to be negative 99. Negative 64 divided by 8, negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 4 plus a negative 3. I have a positive and a negative sign together. I'm just going to eliminate the first one. So I really have a negative 4 minus 3. Take the sign of the biggest number and put that in your answer. So my answer is going to be negative. Both signs are negative, so I'm actually going to add the two numbers. 4 plus 3 is 7. 1 times 11 is 11. Both numbers are positive, so your answer is going to be positive. Negative 15 minus 7. Take the sign of the biggest number and put that in my answer. So it's going to be negative. Both signs are the same, so I'm going to add the two numbers. $14 plus a negative 3. This problem is actually a typo. But let's look at it if it was 14 plus a negative 3. We would eliminate the plus sign. Take the sign of the biggest number. 14 minus 3 is going to be 11. It was 14 minus a negative 3. Make it a big plus sign. 14 plus 3 would equal 17. And our last problem is 72 divided by 9. Answer is going to be negative 8. So again, for multiplication and division, you have three rules. A negative and a negative will equal a positive. A negative and a positive will equal a negative. A positive and a positive will equal a positive. The number is written like this. This is two negatives, so the answer is positive. If there's a negative sign out in front of the number, that means one of the numbers is negative, so your answer is going to be negative. If the sign is included with one of the numbers, it still will be a negative. For adding and subtracting integers, take the sign of the biggest number, and that's going to go in your answer. If the signs are the same, you add. If the signs are different, you subtract. Okay? So this means that the signs are different. Take the sign of the biggest number, it goes in your answer choice. Subtract the two numbers. If the signs are the same, take the sign of the biggest number, add the two numbers. When you're looking at adding and subtracting and you have two signs together, just decide what you're going to do with the signs. So with this one, I'm going to eliminate the plus sign. With the two negatives together, I'm going to make it a big plus sign. So it's really negative 6 minus 2 and negative 6 plus 2. That's it for this video. I really encourage you to learn your integer rules. You will use it throughout 8th grade math, pre-algebra, algebra 1, some 6th grade and 7th grade math.